very fragile oils. So even though what you get in your bottle of vegetable oil looks clean and smells clean, has a nice yellow color, which, by the way, is added, these oils are not, they're just loaded with toxic breakdown products because of the processing.
And does that cause oxidation or stress within the body?
Oh, absolutely. It uses up antioxidants, uses up vitamin E, uses up vitamin C, and leads to these free radical cascades. And that's what starts cancer in the body. That's what starts the buildup of plaque in the arteries. That's what wrecks our organs. It's, if you think of the body as a temple, I think of these liquid vegetable oils like big hammers, and you're going around and hammering everything in your body temple. Just very, very destructive.
Wow. Everything's just so upside down. It's like you just got to do the complete opposite of what you
Exactly. Exactly.
That's a trip. Specifically regarding fats, what kind of oils should we be using?
Well, the safest fats are the most saturated fats. Butter and lard from pigs and tallow from cows and coconut oil are all good fats. And olive oil is also a good fat. It's quite safe, but you don't want to use too much of it. You want to use a combination of fats and oils.
Okay. What are so as far as olive oil, we don't want to cook that at high heat, do we?
Well, olive oil and the saturated fats can be heated, fairly high for sautéing. You obviously don't want to burn your food. But they can be heated. You can cook in these types of oils. They're quite stable and they're quite safe.
What about palm oil?
Palm oil is another good oil. Now, the unrefined palm oil is red, very deep red color, orange red, and it has a taste that Westerners don't like. So they refine it and take out all those wonderful carotenes. But even the refined palm oil is safe. It's very stable and safe. And this is, by the way, what they're going to in Europe. They're getting rid of all the trans fats in Europe, and they're basically going back to palm oil in their processed foods.
That's awesome. I wish they would do something like that here, but
well, the soybean industry is so powerful here, and 80% of this oil is coming from soybeans. And then another large portion of it is coming from genetically modified canola seeds. So this is an extremely powerful industry. They have our agencies and our legislators basically by the collar. But, the consumer always has the last word, and we just don't have to buy these oils or foods made with them. And, in fact, the people who stop buying these oils and the foods made with them, they're the ones who are going to survive and have healthy children. The ones who, continue to eat this way will have more and more reproductive problems, and their children will have more problems. So this is nature's way. I call it the natural selection of the wise. And eventually the wise will be the only ones who've survived.
Absolutely. It's all about education. Out there in the UK, they actually know about genetically modified foods. If you ask anybody out here what a genetically modified food is, they kind of look at you like, what the heck is that? They know out there what's going on.
Europe has really resisted, but the industry here has managed to keep a lot of important information out of the media. For example, these genetically modified foods really tear up the gut. There was a study with potatoes and rats, and these rats on the genetically modified potatoes were basically poisoned. And that's what they're putting into these seeds. They're putting things that are poisonous and that we shouldn't be eating.
Was that the Pustai research?
Yes, that's right. Right.
Yeah.
And we hardly heard anything about that here.
Yeah, we're going to find out. Jeffrey Smith was supposed to come on next week, but he rescheduled till late July. I forget. But he will be coming on and giving us all that crazy, wild information. That Seeds of Deception book is just nuts.
Well, I think the work that Jeffrey's doing is absolutely fantastic, and he's right. He said you don't have to have everyone change. But even if 10% of the people said, I am just not going to eat genetically modified food, that'd be enough. That would be enough to get the industry to stop using them.
Right,
exactly. I also think that they're starting to see some real problems in these crops. For example, apparently in one state there was a complete failure of the genetically modified corn. The corn didn't set kernels at all, and farmers got a payment for this. But we're starting to hear little glimmerings through the curtain of some real problems with these genetically modified seeds.
It just sounds like a really wacky, out-of-control science experiment that nobody really signed up for.
That's right.
And
it all started actually with a Supreme Court decision, I think it was in the late 70s, saying that you could patent life forms.
Mm-hmm.
And if it weren't for that decision, nobody'd be putting any money into this.
Yeah, the world according to Monsanto.
Right.
The listeners can learn all about that. That's all over YouTube and Google. So just go ahead and type in "World According to Monsanto" and kick back and watch it. It'll really blow your hair back. The future of food is another one that they definitely need to watch. I want to get back to the fats for a second. I'm sure people are wondering about coconut oil. What's the difference between, is there a preferred kind of coconut oil? I know we have the virgins and the expeller pressed, and we have the different brand names and whatnot. Is there any one that's particularly beneficial?
They're all good. Coconut oil is quite stable. What I say about coconut oil is it should smell like coconuts or it should smell like nothing. But if it smells burnt or metallic, then don't use that one.
Okay.
But that means it's heated too high. But coconut oil is a fantastic fat. It's great for the thyroid, for weight loss. It gives you good energy. And very important for cancer patients to be on coconut oil. The types of fats in coconut oil are very involved in intercellular communication. Coconut oil, the types of fats in coconut oil kill candida and all sorts of pathogens in the gut. So it's a great oil to have in our food.
Yeah, I talk about that every day. We have so many gut problems. I do testing for, yeast and pathogens and whatnot, and it's just so common. We just had a caller from the 202 call in and then drop. The caller, if you can call back, go for it. Let's call her from the 202. You talked about butter a little bit earlier. Weston Price was like all about the butter.
Right. Yeah. He was really interested in grass-fed butter because it was a very high source of what turns out to be vitamin K. And he actually got butter samples from all over the world at different seasons, and he showed how there were far higher levels of this vitamin at certain seasons of the year, and that was when the grass was rapidly growing. So in the spring and fall in most places, the butter would be really full of nutrition. And he showed that there was an inverse correlation with the amount of vitamins in the butter and the deaths from heart disease and infection at the local hospitals. So he was a big advocate for butter, and since his time we've shown a lot of other very important factors in butter that help children grow and keep us safe from disease, and people should not be afraid of butter. It's just a wonderful food. You can eat as much as you like, and it won't make you fat. It'll make your food taste good, and it'll give you lots of energy and protection against disease. I'm always I'm always amused to hear somebody very politically correct, like a dietitian, saying, "Well, don't eat butter, don't eat whole milk, don't use butter on your vegetables." But then they all admit to eating a lot of ice cream. And even craving ice cream, or eating a quart of ice cream at one time. Well, why is that? Because the body wants that butterfat and is going to get it one way or another. And don't you think it would be better to just drink the whole milk and eat the cheese and butter and everything than getting your butterfat in ice cream with all that sugar? And I can tell you, when you eat lots of butter, you don't have cravings for sweet foods. You don't have cravings for ice cream. The cravings go away.
I don't crave sweet things anymore. I used to have a major sweet tooth. I used to love Hostess cherry pies. Ooh, they were so good. But now, I think about stuff like that, and it kind of grosses me out.
Yeah, exactly. You just get your stomach churns just to look at it. And we've had numerous testimonials along that line. I didn't need willpower to stop eating all this stuff. When I got on the right diet, I just didn't want to eat it.
Yeah. What always kills me is I can't believe it's not butter.